This new Subway Surf.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Nichols YouTube channel. Back with Subway Surfers. Can't remember what episode this is. I probably should have checked before I did this video, but I'm not a professional YouTuber quite yet, so I don't do things properly. Thank you for that. I'm never going to use them. What's this? Cool. Look, if you ain't got nothing for me to claim, I don't care. Don't be so rude as to be like, oh, look at this, and then not give us anything. That's what I'm talking about. Bronze. 2,000 coins. Lovely. What are you? More. No. Missions. What we got? Oh, thanks for that. There wasn't actually anything there. Oh, I clicked too fast. Oh, that's right, because I forget every time because I spend so long off the game. I need to remember what we're buying. Oh, Keys was her last outfit, wasn't it? Because it was only 25 Keys, yeah. Need her last outfit. And money, I believe it was a board, wasn't it? 60,000 potentially. 50,000, I think it was that one. I'm not paying £3 for that, go away. It's actually £4 if you round it up. Yeah, 50,000 coins is what we need. We're 11,000 away from that, actually, so 25Ks, we're 6Ks away. We're not far off either of these. 800 coins, massive help on 40,000. Just 10,000 coins now. New event, that's cool. Oh, look at this. We just got... Oh, we just got $250. We just got $250. Well, dollars, coins, 250 coins. What do we need? 10 more jetpacks, that's it. Let's do it. So welcome back to the One Man Podcast. Yes, you love it. How was everyone's Christmas? Mine was alright. I was pretty chill with Christmas because obviously I'm not bothered. Like, I'm not like a little child anymore, so I'm not too bothered about the gifts I get. I was just a bit disappointed. There was one thing I didn't get. There was this really cool Red Dead Redemption 2 poster that I saw, and I thought, because it was a display, right? And in my room, if you've seen any of my sit-down videos with my face on and it's in my room, you might see, I don't know because it's not always on camera, you might see I have two displays on my wall. A display of cool design of Juice WRLD, and right above that, Floyd Mayweather. And this Red Dead Redemption one would have fit right underneath it, and I would have had three nice and aesthetically lined up displays. And this Red Dead Redemption one was so cool, and I didn't get it. And I was quite disappointed with that, but that's fine, because I got plenty of nice things. And to be honest, I was more excited this year with giving presents than I was getting them, because it was something I'd worked on and I wanted to see how it paid off. So I wasn't too bothered with the gifts I received, because they were all nice anyway. But also on Christmas Eve, 23rd December, I was at the dinner table and I was not talking to my family because I was watching the Anthony Joshua card, which, oh my god, like, it delivered. Like, 8 fights, bunch of heavyweight fights, and a bunch of people I'd never heard of, but they put on quite the performances. You know, but then we'll get nearer down the card and we'll have Daniel Dubois versus Jerome Miller. I haven't heard of Jerome Miller before this card. Apparently he was meant to fight AJ years ago and then tested positive for illegal drugs in the sport of boxing, but then he came back to fight Daniel Dubois, and he's been giving it all the smack talk in Fight Week, and we've seen all the viral clips, and Daniel Dubois finally gave some talk back, and Daniel Dubois finally decided, I'm going to be entertaining this fight. And then in the fight, it looked rough, right? Because Daniel Dubois skilled, muscly. Jerome Miller, I hadn't seen him forever, and he's massive, quite fat really. But when we saw the tail of the tape, Jerome Miller was 99.5 pounds heavier. That's 100 pounds heavier. That is ridiculous. Like, I know they're both heavyweight. I am aware of this. But there's weight classes in boxing for a reason, because being a heavier weight simply means you can just tire out and bully your opponent. And this is what happened. It did do that. It gave Jerome Miller a massive advantage. And yes, I know Daniel Dubois got the 10th round stoppage. But if Jerome Miller was at the same weight as Daniel Dubois, that stoppage would have happened, my guess, about 4 or 5 rounds earlier. But what a performance. I mean, Jerome Miller showed he had skill. He was just too heavy to be in there with a quick Dubois. His heaviness did help him, but I think, you know, Daniel Dubois is just better than Jerome Miller and was just going to beat Jerome Miller whether the weight was a difference or not. Daniel Dubois really showed some resilience and patience being in there, because, you know, going 10 rounds with a 100-pound heavier guy and getting the stoppage in the last 10 seconds of the fight. That's some patience, you know, because you can guarantee that whole fight. After all the smack talk as well, and Jerome Miller taunting him during the fight, you can tell Daniel Dubois probably wanted that knockout. So to wait till the last 10 seconds to finally get it, I mean, you got to credit Daniel Dubois. Well, I mean, what a performance he put on, especially come back from an Usyk fight, when the Usyk fight was very controversial because he hit him below the belt, but some people were saying it was on the belt, some people were saying it was ego, some people were saying it weren't. It's hard to tell because who really knows what Usyk felt. But you know, that is what it is. Usyk ended up destroying him anyway. But to come off an Usyk fight and fight a man 100 pounds heavier, if only Joshua was able to do that. But, you know, speaking of, you know, oh, that was silly from me. The next fight was Bivol. I mean, it was a 12-round fight. It was pretty boring, but Bivol, you know, it's just Bivol. He's got skill. You got to appreciate the skill of him. And it was pretty boring, yes, but these things happen, you know. It is a sport at the end of the day. It is sports entertainment, but it's not. But, you know, they've still got a job to do. They've still got a way of winning. You can make it entertaining, but, you know, it might cost a win because, you know, you've got to give respect to your opponents. You've got to respect your opponents. But, you know, speaking of respecting your opponents, that's something Deontay Wilder definitely didn't do. This card was built up to put Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder into the same card so they can set up a fight with each other. And Deontay Wilder was set to fight Joseph Parker. And I don't think Deontay Wilder respected Joseph Parker because he walked into this fight like, well, look, if it's not Tyson Fury, I'll knock out everyone because I've got the strongest right hand in the game. And he put no boxing fundamentals into it. Don't know what he did in his training, but in the fight, there was no boxing fundamentals going on. It was 12 rounds of complete and utter boring. Deontay Wilder couldn't land a single straight shot. Guess why? Because Joseph Parker focused on boxing. Sorry. Joseph Parker focused on his boxing. And because of that, Joseph Parker slipped shots of Deontay Wilder, landed way more cleanly, and was able to just get beyond the strikes of Deontay, get in the guard, trade in the blows, fight in the pocket, which is not what Deontay Wilder wants. Deontay Wilder wants someone who's standing still, out the pocket, at range, and is open to shots from Deontay. As we know, Deontay takes a shot and he goes down, you know, but, you know, I mean, respect Deontay, he's got some durability. Look at his fights with Tyson Fury. But Deontay Wilder's never relied on boxing fundamentals. He's always relied on that right hand, and it's knocked out everyone. Why? Because he's just jumped on everyone with that right hand, and it's worked. And Tyson Fury kind of exposed that. You know, Tyson Fury showed that he's got that right hand, and he can knock down and knock out a true champion. But Tyson Fury showed that if you just box better than him, you beat him. And obviously Tyson didn't show it that well, because both men were trying to knock each other out. Tyson wasn't focusing too hard on boxing fundamentals. Both of them trying to knock each other out, and that's what they did because they were at the same weight. Joseph Parker went into this with research, with being training buddies and friends with Tyson Fury, and he didn't want to go in there and try and knock out Deontay Wilder because he knew he wasn't the same size as Tyson Fury. He knew it wouldn't be as easy for him because Deontay Wilder's got that naturally bigger build, and it would be easier for Deontay to do that with Parker. Parker made it difficult for Deontay. Deontay knew what Parker didn't want was a very good technical boxer because that's what Deontay isn't. And that's what Joseph Parker did so well. And there was times of the fight where it looked like Joseph Parker had Deontay Wilder hurt and maybe he was going for it. But it didn't happen because, again, that's the strong chin of Deontay Wilder. But when it comes to boxing, this is what happens. I think if Deontay Wilder had watched Bivol in the fight before, Bivol could have knocked that man out, but he didn't. He humbly dropped him once and went all the 12 rounds with him because Bivol focused on his boxing. Deontay Wilder was looking to knock him out and ended up going all the rounds with him and didn't drop him because he was looking for a knockout. He wasn't respecting boxing. And Anthony Joshua, he respected boxing. He was going into this competing with Deontay Wilder but facing a different opponent in Otto Wallen. Otto Wallen bigger, and Otto Wallen, although we don't hear much about Otto Wallen because he's not the greatest heavyweight, but he's ranked number 2 in the division. Right, this man fought Tyson Fury, and he cut Tyson Fury pretty bad. Right, Tyson Fury's meant to be the champ, right? Look at Tyson Fury's last couple of opponents, you know, apart from Ngannou. You know, you got Dillian White, Derek Chisora, you know what I mean? Otto Wallen cut Tyson Fury up. And I believe he went all the rounds with him. I don't believe he got knocked out or anything. And Anthony Joshua was just patient, and within 5 rounds, made Otto Wallen retire in the corner. Anthony Joshua was patient with his shots. Lefts, rights, hooks, everything, 1-2s, just brilliant. Jumped into range and out of range with perfect timing. he wasn't going in there swinging his arms looking for a knockout like Deontay Wilder was, because that didn't work for Deontay Wilder, did it? No. Now Joshua was patient with it, but he still had that aggression. And the problem was, people loved the old aggressive Joshua that used to just knock people out in 3 rounds. But then when Joshua faced someone with a good chin and a skill level and someone who's quite heavy, Joshua's dog didn't pay off and he lost to Andy Ruiz. And then he focused a bit more on boxing against Andy Ruiz and won. And then when it came to Usyk, he got showed he's not that great at boxing fundamentals. He tried working more on boxing fundamentals, and yes, he lost to Usyk again, but he turned a UD to a split decision. And then since then, he'd been focusing on his boxing. And because of that, he only went for a decision win over Jermaine Franklin. And he did knock out Robert Helenius, but it took him 7 rounds because he's focusing on his boxing. And this fight, it showed that Joshua focused a bit more on bringing his dog out, because he was able to have his boxing fundamentals and a bit of that dog to hit those lovely shots and maybe let his hands go a bit more. Now, this is good from Joshua. It shows improvement. Now, hopefully by the next fight, you'll still have his boxing fundamentals, but still bring a bit more of that dog out. And in the Deontay Wilder fight, may not be worth it for Joshua. And to be honest, if there's any time to take the Deontay Wilder fight, it was this card. Or if he doesn't, or he can take it right now and walk through Deontay Wilder, because he would walk through Deontay Wilder. But the fight isn't as big now because Deontay Wilder's let the world down. The Joseph Parker rematch would be great for Joshua. They fought before, but Joshua won on split decision. I think it was split decision. He definitely won on decision. So that could be a fight that could happen then. And it would just put Joshua at the top of the game, basically. And once Usyk and Tyson fight, say Usyk loses to Tyson, AJ's in the perfect place to call out Tyson. Or Jamal Miller. Jamal Miller was saying, I'll fight Joshua. Joshua could fight Jamal Miller. Or Daniel Dubois, because Daniel Dubois beat Jamal Miller. But who knows? That was my rant, my one-man podcast. Thanks so much for listening to me babble about boxing again. I really do appreciate it. There is nothing to claim here. I don't know what you're on about. Claim rewards. I wait to do. Thank you for the 1 head start. I appreciate that, mate. There's nothing to claim. We've already discussed this. Thanks so much for watching. Please like to show your appreciation and subscribe to follow the channel. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Non-stop, on job, say less. It's tweeting and talking, better mind that you're walking, say less. Sometimes giving a mic, but sometimes I gotta say less.